Hey guys, and welcome into another video. Now today we're going to be doing something new. Shout out G-Sling if you guys don't know his YouTube channel. It's going to be linked in the description, as well as it should be popping up in the top corner over here somewhere. He's been somebody I've been watching a lot. Not too big of a YouTuber, but he's been doing a lot of stuff with the offseason. I've really liked his style of videos. I've made sure to let him know. So I'm kind of doing my own version of it, a little bit different from what he does. He has it down pat, so if you guys want to check out, a lot more teams have been done by him, but what we're going to be doing today, as you see I got the gear on, we're going to be doing the New York Giants complete offseason. Now what this is going to be is it's going to be, what's the cap looking like, how can we get it higher, who's going to get cut, who's going to get restructured, who's going to be re-signed, who's going to get traded, and then on top of all that, what free agents are we going to bring in, as well as at the end who's going to be drafted. So this is the complete offseason. There's a lot to do. As you guys might know, the Giants are not in the best cap situation. New GM, new coaches. It's a exciting thing. So first thing we're going to do here is get over to the salary cap. Now, this is the best tool that I can use is Spot Track. So the reason I like Spot Track is they really do have it laid out pretty well, and we'll go through each and everything. But as you can see here, for the New York Giants, the cap space is at negative 10 million right now. A little bit more, but negative 10 million. And a lot of that has to do with a lot of big contracts. We're in a very tight spot, but it's not as bad as it may seem. There's a couple things that can be done to help it out a lot. But as you see here, Kenny Golladay taking up $20 million, Bradbury $20 million, Leonard Williams almost $30 million on the cap this upcoming year. Crazy contracts. And then it dips off pretty fast. So there's some adjusting to do. There's some moves to do. This is all subjective. So if you guys are Giants fans and you guys do like this video, of course, please leave it a like down below and subscribe if you are new. But also, this is completely subjective. This is just, what I have done, looking at it today and seeing what I think I would like to do if I was the Giants GM, if I was Joe Schoen's shoes, So it is okay for you not to agree. It's okay for you to want different things. I'm going to give my reasoning for why I would like these things, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. This is a completely subjective thing, and also let me know what teams you want me to do next. So without further ado, we're going to start off here looking at the free agents. Now, there's a lot of free agents here, and some we're going to try and bring back, and some are going to be let gone. Most of them are going to be let gone. But I think the biggest ones that we're looking at here, Austin Johnson, he's been pretty much our starting nose tackle. He's going to be a free agent. Billy Price started a lot of games for us this year. Evan Ingram is obviously our second-round pick from a couple years ago, but he's due to be a free agent. Jabril Peppers obviously been injured most of the year. But he is due to be a free agent. He's probably going to have a good market. He's been a very good safety. Hernandez, another guy who's been starting for us for a while. Hasn't been as productive as he once was, but another starter. Mike Glennon, we're not going to talk about him. Elijah Penny, Lorenzo Carter, a lot of guys that are free agents that aren't necessarily the superstars, but they're definitely the ones that fill out that roster. So there's a lot of things that we can do, and luckily I have it all planned out already, so it should be a little smooth. But again, Spot Track, shout out to them because they have the best tools when it comes to, all those information that we saw. You can figure out the market value for some of these players and figure out who should be paid what and they're on their fourth, But we're here now on their roster and salary cap manager. This says it here, the tool to modify the selected team. You can sign free agents, pay cuts, pay raises, trades, all of it. You can do it all here, which is awesome because that is exactly what we're going to be doing. So we're here with the New York Giants, and I know the camera is going to be kind of in the way a little bit, but it's kind of the best spot that we could put it, at least right now. Or actually, let's see. Let's move it up to the left side for right now, and then we'll move it back down later, and you'll see why. But here we are at the Giants, market here. So same thing, cap space, nearly $12 million is not. We're under, and I think one of the coolest things that I didn't show in the first part of it is, or not the coolest things, but one of the coolest things about Spot Track at least is it tells you what you should project to spend on just the 5th and the 7th pick. Obviously, we have a lot of picks in the draft, but it's going to be $11 million just for those picks. So we need to not only make up the $11 million, but we need to double it because we are in a very bad spot, and that's just to pay the first two guys in the draft. So that's what we're going to be trying to do here. We're going to, do our best to do it and get it here. So the first order of business here, and I got some notes written down ready for it. the cap cuts, right? There's a lot of guys that can get cut here. We're going to go through that first, right? So the first player that we are going to cut, right? And we're going to go and we're just going to look down the list. So the first guy that we're going to be cutting is Riley Dixon, the punter. Now, he's making way too much money for a punter, and he really hasn't been that good for us. So just that move right here is going to save us $2800 million, like $2,800,000. That's a big amount for a punter. There's no reason that we're paying a punter almost $3 million. We're paying him over $3 million, but we're going to save so much money. We're only going to lose out on about $300K, a little bit over, by getting rid of Riley Dixon. The next person we're going to cut is right above him, and that is Devontae Booker. Now, Booker did very well fulfilling it for Saquon. So, if he's not cut, I wouldn't necessarily be upset. But again, we have so much cap that we need to make up. Just saving that $2 and a little bit over $1 million is going to do a lot for the Giants. The next person we're going to be looking at here is tight end Kyle Rudolph. Paid him a good amount. We thought he was going to be that red zone target. And granted, we weren't in the red zone much. We didn't score much this season. So it's not necessarily completely his fault. He wasn't on the field completely, but we could save $5 million by cutting him. Yes, we are going to lose out on about $2.5 million, but that $5 million is crucial. And look at this. We're already only $1 million or $2 million away from getting back to even. And that's just getting back to even. The next person we're going to be looking at is a tough one, man. This is a guy that I loved when we brought in, and he absolutely killed it for us. Unfortunately, went out with a season-ending injury, and it kind of ruined his season. And unfortunately, it's going to ruin his time with the Giants, and that's Blake Martinez. If we cut him, we're saving $8.5 million. That $5.5 million is going to be dead cap, and that's going to hurt a little bit. But already, we're at $6.5 million just by doing that, which is great, which is awesome. So we're on a good track. We have ways to go. We need $11 million just to sign the first two players. So theoretically, we want about $15 to $18 million when we're done with everything going into the draft at the least, if not a little bit more. Preferably more, because you want to have some money during the season. Obviously cuts will happen preseason and such as well. The next guy we're going to go and get out of here is a guy who's not necessarily on the contracts, but he's still showing up here if I can find him. There he is, Nate Solder. He's not actually on the books. He has a voided contract, so as long as he is released by March 16th, I believe is the date, he will not be on the roster. So we're saving no money, really. It's, the $4 million is voided anyway, so it's not really showing up on our books. So we got rid of him. Another guy is a guy I really liked, especially when he came to us from San Francisco, and that's Caden Smith. He played very well for us when he was there, but again, $2.5 million for Caden Smith is just a little too much for us right now, especially when we need that money just for our draft picks. Another guy that's going to end up being a cap casualty. Now from here, this is where the not necessarily the fun begins, but this is where we're going to get rid of a lot of the younger guys who are making a little bit of money but necessarily aren't the most, right? Trent Harris, 27 years old, really doesn't play for us, save about $1 million. We're going to get rid of him, right? We scroll down here with Darius Williams, again, another guy older. Don't really use him. He's going to get out of here as well. David Moa, we're going to get out of here. He's on here twice. I don't know why he's on here twice. We're going to get rid of him as well. Bachman, although he did very well for us in special teams, I think that we can get a UDFA to kind of do what he does and do it a little bit at a younger pace as well. Then again, running back Antonio Hamilton, Nico Lelos, although he has a pretty cool moment with us, another guy that, that $700,000 we can use on other UDFAs, younger guys, and hopefully see if we can get more out of them because we've seen what a lot of these guys can do. So I'm not even going to keep naming them. The rest of these guys are going to be cut as well. They're not making a lot of money, like I said, but that's going to clear up some space for us where we're already at $19 million now. So right now, if we wanted to do nothing else, if the Giants want to not sign any free agents, they just want to keep the roster how it is, just by cutting those players, you are now at $19 million and you can go through the draft without a worry. Right now, there's a lot more things that we need. You look here, we don't have a tight end on the roster, we don't have a backup quarterback. There's a lot of things that need to be done here. So it's not as easy as that. We're going to be doing a lot more. So one guy that I think needs to be restructured, there's two guys we're going to restructure here, is Leonard Williams right away, right? The reason I want Leonard Williams is, you'll see here, I don't know if it'll show it. It'll be kind of hard to see. I don't know why it's all the way down there, but he's freeing up a lot of money. It goes from $19 million to $28 million. Almost $10 million is getting helped when we restructure Leonard Williams' contract. So basically what that does is it moves it down to the veteran minimum and makes it into a signing bonus. So that salary he's supposed to make is going to get spread out those next 2 years. Luckily, a lot of our contracts you start to see 2024, 2023, a lot of these contracts are ending at that time. So there's going to be a lot more money freed up for that time, and we'll make it all make sense. So I think you understand. So he's still going to be an $18 million cap hit, but that frees up $10 million for us to maneuver this year. And another guy, here's the thing too, you can restructure Kenny Galladay's as well. If you restructure his, it's $27 million. I don't recommend restructuring both, just due to the fact that that's a lot of money that's going to get moved, and they're going to be making an insane amount. This is what we see with the Saints right now, where they really don't have that many players, but Marshawn Lattimore has a $27.5 million cap hit just because of the restructures. So we're only going to restructure Leonard Williams to start off, right? Then another guy that we're going to restructure is Logan Ryan. Now, he's only on the contract for 2 more years, and I think that this next year he's going to be kind of in that. I wouldn't say he's going to be starting as much. He might be, and that is completely up to whoever. But I think it's going to be him and Xavier McKinney as the safeties. But there's Julian Love. There's going to be young guys coming in as well. So he's going to be kind of spread out, where he's going to take that more mentorship role. I think that freeing up just that $4 million that he's going to free up for us will do a lot, and it'll spread out good enough for the next 2 years as well. But he's somebody that I think would have no worries. He just wants to win. He's at that age. I think he'd be harder to move, especially at that contract. So I think restructuring is the right deal, because if we were to, let's say, cut him, we're losing a lot of money. We're only making $1 million. So we're going to restructure it instead. Where'd he go? Oh, no. We lost him. Okay, sorry about that. Now we got to figure it out. Logan Ryan's back on the team. We see him right here. I don't know where he disappeared to. Little bugs in the system, but it's okay. The moves are all reset. Just had to reset the page and do that. So we have 2 of our restructures, Logan Ryan and Leonard Williams. Now, there's a couple other guys that could be cap casualties. It could save us a little bit of money. Nick Gates would save us about $2 million. I don't think that we need to necessarily get rid of him. I think that he'd be good to keep as that veteran offensive lineman. Same thing with Matt Parrott. Hasn't really done as much, but for a little bit over $1 million, it's pretty much the vet minimum. Let's do Matt Parrott. The vet minimum next year is going to be $1.12 million. It goes up every single year. I looked it up, so I double checked everything. So the next thing that we're going to be doing here, and of course, if you guys have enjoyed this so far, please be sure to leave a like. This is actually really fun for me to do, and I kind of want to do it with other teams, but let me know how you think about this setup, or if you want it to be more presentable. Again, go check out G-Sling. G-Sling, he has done it the best way I ever could, and that's a lot to create. So if this gets some good feedback, maybe I'll try and create something more creative, more pictures and such that you can see instead of just this grid, basically. But we're going to be doing 2 trades, right? And I have 2 options for both of these players, but 2 players that we're going to be trading, right? The first player I think that needs to be moved is Sterling Shepard. The reason why is if you just outright cut him, right, you're saving a good amount of money. It's about $4 million, $4.5. But you're going to have to lose that $7.5 million anyway, or almost $8 million, whether you trade him or you cut him. So you might as well get what you can, because he's still a very talented player. The injury is going to hurt him, yes. I think he'll be back for next season, but teams are going to want him. His contract's up in 2 years, so teams that have a lot more salary cap than other teams, I think will want a guy like Sterling Shepard, because he's a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, especially for a good team. So there's 2 ideas that I have, and I'm going to give you the one that we're not going to do first, and then we're going to do the second one as well. So the first place I think that he should go is to the AFC, and that is the Miami Dolphins, right? Dolphins have the most cap space going into this offseason. Obviously, they have guys to re-sign, but also they have a very young team. Tua's on a rookie deal. Waddle's on a rookie deal. Their whole offensive line is on rookie deals. Now, whether they pay Gesicki, the guys like that, it's to be foreseen, but they're looking for wide receivers, especially in this draft, to pair alongside Jalen Waddle and maybe Devontae Parker. We'll see what happens if he stays there. He hasn't been the most productive, but he hasn't lived up to that contract, but he's still a solid receiver. But they want another receiver that can do a lot for them, help this offense, help Tua out, because like you said, Tua was the guy. So what we're going to be doing if we were to go to Miami is we're going to be trading him for the 100th pick. So we'll just, it would just be this bottom guy, the worst guy. He's not really going to be traded. We would trade Sterling Shepard for the the 100th overall pick, right, which is a round 3 pick. Round 4 pick. End of round 3? It's the end of round 3 pick, I believe. But we traded for the 100th pick. What that would give us is another pick, obviously, which is good. They get a good receiver. It gets some money off our books. That's why we're not going to be asking for a top pick, because he's not worth that, especially with the injury and stuff as well. That's not the trade we're going to be doing, though. What we are going to be doing is we're going to be sending him to a team that beat us pretty bad this year and had one of the best highlights of the season against us, and that is the Los Angeles Chargers. Reason why Los Angeles is losing Mike Williams, and behind Mike Williams, they really didn't have much. They had a lot of drop passes. They have a lot of things that they could grow on, especially having a great young quarterback like Justin Herbert. So what we're going to be doing here, whether they re-sign Mike Williams or not, Shepard could be that 3 or that 2. We're going to be trading Sterling Shepard to the Los Angeles Chargers, and pulling my notes again. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be sending him to the Chargers for one of their young safeties in Alohi Gilman, right? Coming out of Notre Dame, not the highest touted safety, but he has a lot of potential and would be a good depth piece for the Giants, especially when, you got 2 more years of Logan Ryan. You can see what Gilman has to be that depth piece. Maybe he earns his way up. You're going to trade him for Alohi Gilman, and alongside Alohi Gilman, it'll be the 158th pick, right? They have 2 picks in that round, which is round 6, I believe. Round 6. So that pick that we're going to be getting from the Chargers is a late round 6 pick or late round 5 pick. I don't remember exactly. I have it pulled up though. And you're going to be getting back less than $1 million from Gilman, but you're going to be saving about $3 million, $3.5 million. So I think it's a good move. We're going to process that trade a little bit over $3.5 million. We save some money. We get Tony and Slayton and Galladay as our top 3 receivers. Maybe add someone in the draft or free agency or such, and help out a lot in that sense. That's a solid young receiving core. Obviously, Tony had a lot of upside. Galladay, Slayton has been good. But behind them, Colin Johnson, guys like that have proven their worth. And, of course, the draft, free agency, such, there's going to be ways to improve. I don't think Sterling Shepard necessarily needs to be there. The injury is going to hurt him. I think that Tony and has deserved that playing time, especially in a new Dable offense. I think that's going to be fun. The second trade we're going to be doing, and this one hurt me to do, but $35 million in cap space is really good. The problem is like we've shown before, there's only 34 players on this team. We need to fill out this roster a little bit in free agency. And with this money, we really would only be able to get maybe 1 or 2 decent pieces. So we're going to try and clear up a little bit more money, and you'll see how it all works. But unfortunately, a guy that we are going to be trading is the highest cap hit, and that is James Bradberry, where it's his last season on the Giants. So we can't restructure anything, so we are going to trade him. Again, another guy where whether you trade him or whether you cut him, it's going to give you the same amount of cap save. So what we're going to be doing here is, I think the one option is just straight up cutting him. If there's a team that's like, look, we don't want that contract, whatever, then we have to get rid of him for nothing, right? I don't think that's the case. I think James Bradberry is, a top 20, top 15 corner in the NFL. He didn't have as great of a year as he did the year before, but he has been an absolute monster. And, for that money, I think that a team that is young but competitive might want him. So if we're not going to cut him, I think the perfect team, and I went through and I triple-checked to make sure they have the cap space and, people they might cut and people they might bring back, and it works out really well, is the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. We all know they've had a struggling corner room. They paid Trey Waynes a lot of money, not really panning out. Eli Apple, we all know. Awuzie's done very well, but they have a lot of things. So even if they bring back, Jesse Bates, Uzama, I'm trying to think of other guys. I had them bringing back some of their guys. BJ Hill, I had them bringing back. And I paid them the market value that SpotCheck had. And they have, I think, $50 million still after bringing those guys back. So they have a lot of money in cap space. So I think getting a, for sure, top 20 corner in James Bradberry, where they paid Waynes hoping he can get there. You're paying James Bradberry, and he is that corner. You're going to be trading him for the 63rd overall pick, right? 63rd overall pick, that's a third-round pick, or it's the end of the second. I'm going to be honest, the numbers, I didn't write down the rounds. I should have wrote down the rounds. So we're just going to take Suafilo's contract because it's 0, because we're not going to be trading for an actual player. That's what it is. But we are going to be getting the 63rd overall pick. So right now, getting rid of Bradberry and getting rid of Shepard, we now have a 63rd pick in the draft and the 158th pick. And we've cleared up $12 million plus the other one, about $15 million. So we're going to process that trade, and boom, $47 million, $48 million in cap space almost. And yes, that is a big loss. Bradbury is a lockdown corner, but we did pay Adoree Jackson. He's up here, and we got an extra year, so we have 2 more years of Adoree Jackson. Darnay Holmes has looked good. Robinson didn't get as much playing time. Julian Love has been switching between corner and safety. We have Logan Ryan can play corner. He's listed as a corner, so we have enough depth there. But I think it's going to tie into something later on, and I'll show you what's going to happen. And if you've seen my mock draft video, you're a little spoiled to it. But there was a method to my madness. So now we've done that. We've cut everybody. We've traded everybody. We've cleared up enough cap space to where, we've saved $60 million by doing the moves we have. And they're not too bad. Leonard Williams still here. Galladay's still here. Thomas, Jones, Barkley, everybody. It's good. So what we're going to be doing now is filling out the roster a little bit more. And there's not too many. We only have 3 free agent signings because, again, we don't have money to really be paying too many free agents. So what we're going to be doing here is you look over here, the spots we really need, we need a tight end, right? If there's a tight end to get, I think we should get a tight end. We need to re-sign some players. There's some guys of our free agents that we need to re-sign. And on top of that, just filling out the roster and doing what we can here. So the first thing we're going to be doing before we go out for free agents is we're going to be looking at our own free agents, right? We're going to get the first chance to sign them. So New York Giants free agents. There is 3 guys that I want to bring back, right? The first guy is going to be, where's he at? Past him. First guy is going to be Billy Price. The second guy that we're going to bring back is Will Hernandez. And the third guy we're going to bring back isn't on here. So we're going to click Reggie Ragland. It's not Reggie Ragland. It's going to be Jalen Smith. But because for some reason Jalen Smith doesn't pop up anywhere, we're going to put him there. So we're going to click sign free agent. So Reggie Ragland, anytime you see Reggie Ragland, is Jalen Smith. Right? So the first thing we're going to do is let's do the Jalen Smith contract. Jalen Smith did very well for us. Now we don't have Blake Martinez. Jalen Smith's play style is very Blake Martinez, or at least he should be. A lot of people try to use him in pass coverage. It wasn't as good. If we put him into that Blake Martinez role, we gave him a chance. He played very well for us in those past games in that role. We still have Tay Crowder and such, and we have the draft, obviously. I think because of that, and because he's getting paid from his Cowboys contract where they cut him, he's not going to ask for a huge contract. And also, I think that he'd rather stay with us because we know that we're going to use him, especially if Patrick Graham stays as the DC. So what we're going to be paying Jalen Smith is it's going to be a 2-year deal worth $3 million. That's going to be the base. Now, there's going to be incentives for this, so he can get it up to, whatever it may be, $6 million, so whatever it may be. But $3 million, it's $1.5 million per year. You can have incentives for, tackles. 100 tackles, he gets an incentive. He makes a Pro Bowl incentive. We make the playoffs incentive. 8 wins incentive. Like, you can incentivize it to where he can get up to, let's say, $8 million in the 2 years. But right now, it's going to be that $3 million. So we're going to count it as $3 million, right? That's in there. That's done, right? $3 million is going to Jalen Smith. Not Reggie Ragland, Jalen Smith. Will Hernandez is the next guy. The reason why I want to bring him back is because I don't think he's going to get a starting role, but also if we don't get depth in the draft, I think that, or when we get depth in the draft, if they're not ready to start, I think Hernandez might be better to play over these guys. And it's kind of the similar thing with Billy Price, where Billy Price can play as the center or the guard, but it more or less is going to be a backup role, or that kind of Band-Aid while we wait. So both of these guys are going to get two-year deals, and they're going to be very close to each other. So Will Hernandez, we're going to give him a 2-year deal worth $5 million, just for the fact that he's been here a little longer. He knows the system a little bit more. So it's going to be $2,500 per year. And then for Billy Price, we're going to be giving him 2 years, $4.5 million. So close to it, but not that much. These are just kind of standard, fringe starter backup money for these guys. So I think that it's a good amount to where they'd rather just stay here than check the open market. But right there, just with re-signing those 3 guys, we only lost $40 million, so we still have $40 million left to spend. Again, $11 million is going to be for those first couple picks. In reality, about $20 million is what we want going into the draft. So that's going to be our re-signs. That's all we're going to do. There's a lot of guys still on there. Evan Ingram, Jabril Peppers, Austin Johnson, Lorenzo Carter. These are guys that are going to be tough to lose. They really are. But I think that our team is in a decent spot. Bringing back some depth guys on the offensive line again, because how bad it is, we can't lose, all the offensive linemen that we have, because it's already bad. We can't let it get worse. So we got that, and also we got Jalen Smith to replace what we wanted from Blake Martinez because of how big that contract is. I think it's the best case we can do. So now we're going to be adding 4 free agents actually. and they're not going to be huge free agents. I thought I wrote down the other one, but it's not there, so I guess we're going to have to do it. So the first one we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a backup for Daniel Jones. The reason why I say this is because we've seen it. Colt McCoy came in, and we had to run a completely different system. He won a game in Seattle, which was great, but it didn't look great. Not too many points scored, relied on the defense. Then Mike Glennon came in this year and was atrocious. We couldn't move the ball. We couldn't score. A lot of that had to do with other things, but on top of that, it's a matter of Mike Glennon is not going to be able to run the RPOs and the options like Daniel Jones can. So you need somebody who can hold that playbook, and where you don't have to change the playbook, but also is that veteran type and can help out Daniel Jones, from the places he's been or the things he's seen, give him pointers. As we saw, I think that when the other New York team knew Zach Wilson, when he was out, and you got to see Josh Johnson and Joe Flacco work, and you got to learn from them, he's credited them and said how much they've helped him. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going after a quarterback, right? And that quarterback is going to be somebody who has had success in the league and recently has not had the most success, and that's Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is going to be our first free agent, right? We're going to sign him. The second free agent we're going to be going for is a defensive tackle, and this guy we are actually familiar with, and that's Linval Joseph. Reason why we're losing Austin Johnson, the money that Austin Johnson would get, you could probably get for Linval Joseph the same amount, just because he's a lot older. So it'll make sense in a second when I talk about the money. And the second to last person we're going to sign here is going to be a running back, and is a veteran running back, and that is Le'Veon Bell. We're going to sign him for very cheap. He's got a lot of experience. He just wants a job. We really only have Brightwell and Saquon on the roster right now, and hopefully we help in the draft, but Le'Veon can help out a superstar like Saquon, as he was once the best running back in the NFL. And then our last guy that we are going to sign is going to be O.J. Howard. The reason why O.J. Howard is we're losing Evan Ingram. We're cutting Caden Smith and Kyle Rudolph. We have no tight ends, and we're going to try and address it in the draft, but you need somebody, right? You need somebody to be there, and O.J. Howard is going to be that guy. So we're going to sign these free agents, right? So now Tyrod Taylor, we're going to sign him to a one-year deal worth $2.5 million. So again, $2.5 million. He's making that right now, so we're just going to keep him at that contract. If Daniel Jones gets hurt, and he's been hurt a lot, Tyrod can come in and run that offense. You don't have to worry about wasting one of these picks on a young quarterback. DJ goes out there. If he has a bad year, that you're replacing him next year. Try for Bryce Young or Richardson or any of the quarterbacks coming out next year. But Tyrod can fill in a lot better than Glennon has or McCoy has, because he can run that offense similarly to what Daniel Jones does. And he's shown a lot of success. He looked really good his first game in Houston this year. He didn't look as good when he came back from the injury. Looked great in Los Angeles, then he got punctured in the lung. Looked good in Cleveland, then he got hurt. Baker comes in. So I think we've seen a lot where Tyrod has helped all these quarterbacks. He plays, and then Baker comes in. He plays, and then Herbert comes in. He plays, and then Mills comes in. Those three guys have had some of the better rookie seasons in their year. So Tyrod Taylor is definitely somebody that would be good to learn from. He played in Buffalo. I think it'd be a good thing for both our team and for Tyrod to come to, because he wants to still play, and I think that coming to the Giants as that backup most likely will get him some games out there due to Daniel Jones' health history. Linval Joseph, I think that we'd get him for a contract similar to what we would pay Austin Johnson, who I would like to bring back, but at the same time, I think Linval would fit the scheme and what we want a little bit better, and just being that nose tackle, that run stuffer, that big boy that's really not gonna let anything through, and bringing him back to New York. He was here back in the good days, and it's gonna be a 1-year $6 million deal, right? Again, veteran presence, help out on the line, be a big body to stop the run, to do whatever. Did he have the best year in Los Angeles? No, but we're gonna be getting a guy where he has been in New York before, had very much success in New York, and has had a good long career since then, but now is going to come in, and he's going to wreak havoc for us once more at that older age, giving him a good contract, $6 million, to pair alongside with Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Ojulari, and whoever else we may add. The second to last guy, Le'Veon Bell, we're going to give him the vet minimum, which is $1,012,1.12 is what it is. That's the vet minimum. That's the least we can give him. That's what he's going to get. So we're going to give him that. And then O.J. Howard. Now, O.J. Howard is a little bit different. I thought I had it written down, like I said, and I don't. But what OJ Howard has been, he's a top pick, but he really hasn't produced. He's been hurt. He's he had one really good year, but other than that, it hasn't been much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give him a $2 million or a 2-year deal, and it's gonna be $2.5 million per year. I think it's a good spot for him to be, and give or take $1 million or $2 million. I think that's a good spot for him to be. So it'll be 2 years, 2 years, $5 million. So 2 years he'll be making 2.5 each year, and he'll come in, primarily being our number one tight end. Which when he was that number one tight end before his injury, he had a very good season. He looked like one of the better tight ends. Looked like that first round grade. And then since then, been hurt. Cam Brate had a good year, and then Gronk comes back with Brady, and he's been kind of buried. And I think that giving him a 2-year deal at age 27, that'll give him a chance to kind of revive that career. Now, there's a lot of other options that we could have at tight end that I want to talk about. I mean, look at it. Uzama would be great. I think he's going to get a lot more money. Njoku would be really good, but at that price, it's probably going to be the same as Evan Ingram. You might just want to bring Evan Ingram back on a young deal. There's older guys like Eric Ebron, Jared Cook, Mo Alley Cox. These guys that wouldn't be too expensive, but could do a lot for us. A guy like Lee Smith, getting him for the vet minimum is a great blocker to have. I feel like he might have retired, though. I'm not sure. But, Will Disley, Tyler Conklin, these are guys that, again, Seals Jones, guys that aren't going to be asking for a lot, but definitely could help that depth. But that's all the signings that we're going to have. Let me know what you think about it. I think that right now, going into the draft, we have 41 players, right? So we need to have 12 more by the start of the NFL season at the least, right? UDFAs are going to happen. More free agents are going to be brought in for training camp and such. So we don't have to worry too much, but 41 core players, and that's what this is. Again, so this kind of works out perfectly. The camera cut out, but also it was time to move on to the next segment anyway. So we're going to be going into our 7-round mock draft for the Giants, and that'll be the end of our offseason. We'll kind of discuss how that goes. But again, I have it all already planned out. I've already done the draft, and I've also done the picks that we got from the Bengals and the Chargers as well, and we'll go through that. So the first pick that we have here is Eka Mekwonu, Icky, as some have called him. He's a junior coming out of NC State, and this dude is a beast. Some people say he might even be the best tackle in the draft this year, over Evan Neal, over Charles Cross, better than Linderbaum, everybody, which is crazy. But this dude is big, 6'4", 320, and he's pretty much played everywhere. He started at left tackle as a true freshman, and he's developed. He can play as a guard. He can play as a tackle, and that's really why I like him, is because his ideal role, they're saying here, is a left tackle, zone rushing attack, which is really what we should be running with Saquon Barkley. He fits perfectly. We can move Thomas to that right side. I think Thomas has played in college at the right. We can try and move Ekwonu, whoever is playing better. Or maybe we get another tackle somewhere, in free agency, in the draft, or whatever it may be, and we can move him to the inside. There's a lot of versatility there. He's also arguably the best player on the board at this point. Arguably the best offensive lineman in the draft. So definitely, I really do like it. Family of athletes. Like I said, his twin brother plays at Notre Dame. Father played basketball. His mother was a track star. This dude is a athletic freak. He is able to maul. He is good at pretty much everything. If you guys want more of a breakdown on Ekwonu, go to my full first round official mock draft, my 1.0. It should be linked somewhere in this as well, and it'll pop up at the end of the video as well. But be sure to check that out. I broke down the players a lot more than I am going to here. The second pick that I have him going, and this again, if you want more of the opinion, go to the mock draft. But it's gonna be Derek Stingley Jr. Now, obviously we lost James Bradbury. So right now, our corner room is Adoree Jackson, Darnay Holmes, Aaron Robinson, Julian Love, Logan Ryan, like kind of. So we need more corners, right? We could go after a vet corner, like a Trey Flowers would be nice to bring in on a young contract. Actually, I think I was going to bring in Trey Flowers on the vet minimum as well. But you look, we can get a vet guy. I'm not going to sign anybody else. But, name any, Josh Norman, Trey Flowers, those older veteran guys, Patrick Peterson, that really are just going to be trying to look for an opportunity to play, Richard Sherman, such like that. But really, the corner room is still solid. Adoree Jackson, you could do a lot worse, but we still want to have that co-partner, and losing Bradbury sucks. No matter which way it does, it sucks. It's just too much money. We need the money. So we're going to be drafting Derek Stingley here, who, 5-star recruit, was the number one player in the recruiting class, balled out as a freshman, and since then has been inconsistent with some injuries and such. So people are kind of, where is he going to be? I like Stingley a lot because I think he needs to go to a team where he doesn't have to be that number one corner, where they're not like, oh my God, he's going to be our savior. I like how Derek Stingley can come here and be that number 2, number 3 even, and have Holmes and Adoree Jackson start until he's ready. But he has the upside in the ceiling of being that Jalen Ramsey, J.C. Jackson, Tre'Davious White type corner where he's just absolutely locked down. He's going to stick with you. He's going to be able to do everything. And we saw that his freshman year, with the Joe Burrow LSU Tigers, But again, this guy, he's an outside corner. He can be matched up against the best receiver they're showing. Length, athleticism, speed. He can play press man, but he also can play zone. He can pretty much do it all. We've seen it all, and he was the number one player in his recruiting class. So my bet is that he's going to end up being a pretty damn good player for any NFL team, but for us, the New York Giants here. So in the first round, we got Ekwonu, we got Stingley. That's our new, arguably number one corner, our new franchise tackle to pair with Andrew Thomas, and we're looking good. Now, the next pick we have here is Sean Ryan out of UCLA. The reason I like Ryan is another guy where he can play tackle, he can play guard. I think that adds that versatility to where maybe Ekwonu or Thomas isn't doing too well at that right side. You can move Ryan out to that right tackle and try how he does as well. But where I project him most is that guard. So how I would have it is Ekwonu on the left side, Thomas on the right side, and Ryan holding down one of those guard spots. You still have Hernandez and Price if you need them. Nick Gates is there as well, Bredesen. But Ryan is going to be in there to be a starter. So you got Ekwonu, you got Thomas, you got Ryan. Those are three franchise guys. Lemieux is coming back, who I think should be a franchise guard. He looked really good when he played, but obviously the injury, we have to see where he comes back. But you still have Hernandez, Price, Gates as well. So I think that the line is doing very good on depth, and it's a lot better than what it was right away. Two new starters on the offensive line. You got to like it. Like I said, I project him more of as a guard. It says the eventual NFL starter. I project him to be his guard is what I have. So let's say he's going to be the right guard. So how I would have the line going into next season, I would have left tackle, like I said, Ekwonu, left guard, Lemieux, center, Nick Gates or Price, either one. Ryan as the right guard and Thomas as the right tackle, and then you can, you have Peart, you have Hernandez, you have Bredesen, you have other guys that you'll be able to figure out from there. Now, the next pick, I know we see some picks, but the next pick is actually going to be the pick we got from Cincinnati, and that is in the James Bradbury period. That is pick 63. And who we're going to be taking at pick 63? Ed Ingram out of LSU, redshirt senior, a guy who, like I said, been in the league or been in the LSU system since 2017. He sat out the 2018 season because of off-the-field issues, and he's been a starter. He's been a beast. He's been a left guard and a right guard. So right here, we're already getting another guard that can give you quality snaps, like it says, either guard position, left guard or right guard, and he can be versatile. So if Lemieux's not ready to come back, or maybe move Lemieux to center. I know he played some of the center. He was learning a lot of center his rookie year. Or, that also frees up the money to cut Nick Gates. Maybe move Lemieux to center and have Ed Ingram and Sean Ryan as your guards now. But that is three possible starters and franchise starters to add to Andrew Thomas and Lemieux. And right there, that's 5 starters, and I think that's a pretty damn good line if they all pan out and they all, hit to where their ceilings are. But, Ekwonu and Thomas, I think, are pretty much secure. It's the other guys we're going to worry about. But I think getting Ed Ingram there is a great pick for the Giants to get. I mean, like I said, another guy, but also one of them isn't doing great right away. You have Hernandez, you have Price, maybe you have Gates, you have Lemieux. There's options, and that's the biggest thing is you have to be able to play the best guy. You don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to play Solder, but that's all I have. That was the big problem that I think we had under the Gettleman era. Now going back to the draft, you saw it already. Damon Clark is going to be coming to the Giants as well. We signed Jalen Smith for a couple of years. We have, Tay Crowder on the outside. We lost Lorenzo Carter. We still have Zimenez. We still have Ojulari. There's guys in and out. We could do a lot, but getting a guy like Damon Clark, who really, 2-year starter, like it says, was a team captain, which is really good. Had a great year this last year in 2021. Look, top tackles in 2021. So again, boundary. He's speed. He's athletic. You can pretty much use him wherever, I think, and that's kind of where I'm projecting is wherever he's best fit, whether that be, coming off the edge, going into zones, just going out for tackles, being that Jalen Smith role. Jalen Smith doesn't do what we thought he was going to. There's a lot of opportunities here for Damon Clark, and I really like that a lot from him, 6'3", 245, athletic, like they're saying. I really do like that, and that's going to be at pick 67, so only a few picks after Sean Ryan. Or a couple picks after Ed Ingram, my apologies. So, that's going to be a really good pick for us. And then the next pick I have is getting is Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina, 6'4", 240, athletic. He's a senior. He really, Coastal Carolina has been on everybody's mind these past couple years. And, he's just looked good. Like I said, good speed, can run across. So basically what I compare him to is kind of that Evan Ingram type, They have him compared to Josh Oliver, who came out a couple years ago, which I think is a good comparison as well, 4th-round value. But he has a big playability. He's going to play a lot similar to what Evan Ingram was. So really the scheme doesn't have to change too much. But he's also a good blocker, and that's what it says. He throws good chip blocks. He's able to give him the rib shot. He slows down the pass rush, which is huge because Evan Ingram wasn't the best at blocking, and neither OJ Howard's decent but not great. And that's why we signed Toy Lolo. That's why we wanted a guy like Rudolph to help out a little bit more. We had those guys where we needed them to block. He's not necessarily the best blocker, like I said. He's single blocking, no, but getting a tight end who plays like Evan Ingram also block. I think that has a lot of upside, especially because he doesn't have to come in right away and be that number 1 tight end. OJ Howard can lead that for the first year, likely can come in for 2 tight end sets, help block, but also go get some routes. And if he starts to overproduce, you could play him over Howard and then move Howard to that role. I think that gives it a lot of versatility there. The next pick we have here is Sam Williams, the edge rusher out of Ole Miss. Fell a little bit in the draft here. He's versatile. They don't have a comparison for him, but yeah. Another guy, senior, 6'3", 268. He's just an athletic guy. Like it says, he can play as a 4-3 D end or an outside linebacker in 3-4. So if he is as good as I think he can be, he could be the opposite side of Ojulari and be that second edge rusher that we need. Now, I know a lot of people say edge rusher, like we need that edge rusher. I think that Ojulari did a lot for us last year, and I think adding a guy like Linval Joseph would help out a lot. But, with Zimenez, with now Sam Williams, Ojulari, I think that you have a good amount. Jalen Smith can even play some of the edge. There's a lot that we have there where I don't think, yes, you don't have that Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett type. And, you still look for that. We're going to have another pick next year, but I think that the edge will be decent enough to where you'll get a lot more pressure. And hopefully you get another year like you had in 2020 from Leonard Williams, where he got a lot of pass rushing. But, yeah, Sam Williams, like I said, can play pretty much at any edge position, outside linebacker, DN, whatever it is, athletic, powerful, speed. Like, he pretty much can do it all. He's really good. That's really what it is. Obviously, he's going to be here at this pick, which would be awesome for us at pick 108 is the pick here. That would be perfect for us. The next pick we're going to have is Rachaad White out of Arizona State. Now, the reason I like Rachaad White, and he might be going up a lot higher, he's having a great Senior Bowl. I think he had like one of the top speeds in the practices so far. But 6'1", 205, he's a redshirt senior, had an amazing year for ASU. He ranked as the number 50th player coming into college. And, he ended up going to Arizona State, and, obviously Benjamin and such had been there since. But he really had a great year, and I think that's a lot. He's able to catch, he's able to run, he's able to be fast. I mean, this is the perfect pair to a Saquon Barkley, where he can be that backup role and help out a lot. And also with Saquon's injury history, fill in those Devontae Booker games. I think Rachaad White can play a lot like that and do well for the Giants. And, who knows? If Rachaad White is amazing, does Saquon get re-signed? That's a question that we need to look at after this season. So I think Rachaad White just complements Saquon very well and can play very well, especially with an injury. But also with how our offseason went, Brightwell and Le'Veon are still there as well. Le'Veon can help Rachaad White grow, but also help Saquon Barkley, and then they can all fill in for each other. But, yeah, Rachaad White, really like him. They compare him to Kenyon Drake, which I think is great as well. But, yeah, he can catch really well, which he plays a lot like Saquon Barkley, just not obviously to that caliber. Saquon was the number 2 overall pick for that reason. The next pick that we're going to have is actually from Miami, and that pick is going to be the inside defensive lineman, Otito Ogbonnia, I think is how you say it. He's strong, man. Like I said, he's placed 4th in the shot put. 6'4", 319. Starting nose tackle. Again, just big and strong. He'll be that Linval Joseph replacement after this year, I think. But he'll get that year to grow and learn from Linval and be on that D-line and see what he can be. But again, just a big body. He'll help out a lot on special teams, field goals and punt block and stuff. But definitely could fill in for Linval after the first year. Or if Linval's not looking too good in training camp, save the money on the 1-year deal, and let Ogbonnia play or let somebody else play or whatever it may be. But I think that he is a very good spot to get at 158. And this is the pick that we got from the Chargers in the Sterling Shepard trade, along with Alohi Gilman, who's also in the secondary as well. Then we're going to go back to the draft here. And our next pick is Cade Mays, another interior offensive lineman. Again, just building up on the depth. He was a 5-star recruit coming into college. He went to Georgia, then he transferred to Tennessee. There's a lot of stuff. Cade Mays definitely has a lot of upside, but he definitely needs to develop. There's not as much as what we thought at the original time. They compare him to, ironically, our lineman in Shane Lemieux, which I think is a very good comparison, who was very highly touted. Didn't really come out as that, but I think that he can become that, which I think is perfect. Getting another Shane Lemieux type would be awesome in Cade Mays. So now, just in this draft, we've added Cade Mays, Sean Ryan. Don't forget about Ed Ingram and Ekwonu. We still have Price and Hernandez. Gates is still on the roster. Bredeson's still on the roster. Parrott is still on the roster. So we have a good amount of offensive line, 10 offensive linemen right there to play his depth, to move around, to see what is our best 5 and play them, and have the good enough backups to where if somebody gets hurt, they're able to fill in. I like that a lot. Now moving on to our last pick. We don't have a 7th round pick. Our last pick is going to be Jaylen Naylor out of Michigan State. He'll be a special teams guy, which is great because, it says big play extraordinaire. He's athletic, he's fast, he's able to do a lot of those things. 6 foot, 190. He also, he'll be depth. It says he's best for a spread offense, which is awesome, but good at vertical routes, sinks, he's able to do a lot. He's not the best, obviously that's why he's all the way down here. So no one really knows how great he can be, but they like his ball skills, they like what he can do, and he can grow. He definitely can grow. But I think that he'll be great. Special teams value is important. I think that this is where he is. He's very good at he'll be very good on special teams, be one of those gunners for the kickoffs and the punts, maybe even be a return man, but I think that he can learn a lot. They compare him to Smith Marset. I don't know too much about, but again, another guy, 5th round value, falls into the 6th. Can become, that Darius Slayton type, I think, possibly be our wide receiver 4 or 5. But in reality, I think that right away he's going to be used as that special teamer. So that's going to be it. Going back to the roster, like I said, we have a lot, $28 million, take out, let's say 15, 16, $18 million, let's say 18. You'd still have $10 million going into the regular season to spend on some free agents that are available, maybe make a trade. There's a lot more you can do, but we filled out a lot of positions there through the draft. So again, what we did in this offseason, cut a lot of players, right? The transaction log is going to show a good amount, but we restructured Leonard Williams, we restructured Logan Ryan, cut Blake Martinez, Rudolph, Solder, Booker, Dixon, Caden Smith, Trent Harris, Rodarius Williams, all those guys. And then we traded James Bradbury and Sterling Shepard. We re-signed Billy Price, Will Hernandez, Jalen Smith, not Reggie Ragland, Jalen Smith. We signed Tyrod Taylor, Linval Joseph, Le'Veon Bell, and O.J. Howard. And then in the draft, to recap it, Ekwonu and Stingley in the 1st round, Ryan, then we got Damon Clark, and of course Ed Ingram as well. Going back here, Isaiah Likely, Sam Williams, Rashad White, Cade Mays, Jaylen Naylor, and of course in there as well. Oh, he went away. Agbania as well. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave it a like. It took a lot of time to plan this out and obviously come through, cut all the video, etc. But I really did have a blast. If you guys did enjoy this, I know it was a little funky. It's my first time trying it. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section below if hey, this has a lot of upside to it. Oh, I didn't like how you did this. I'm here for criticism. I won't get upset, I promise. And let me know what you guys want to do for the Giants. Whether it's you have this, if you want to use this tool and build your own offseason, great. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys decide. There's no wrong answer. The Giants are in top two picks in the top 10 for a reason. They're not a great team right now, but they have a lot of potential, and I think the roster isn't as bad as it's been put on paper in the schedules, in the standings, So again, leave a like on the video. Please be sure to subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Let me know if you're a Giants fan down below, but also if you're not a Giants fan, let me know what team you want to see next. I want to keep doing this series. I had a lot of fun going down the rosters. I started off with the Giants because obviously that's my hometown team, but let me know what you guys think about it. Again, appreciate you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave that like. If you didn't, it's okay. Just refresh that page and let me know what you think about it the second time. Without further ado, that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching this long video, and I'll see you next time.